Robert Charles Dukes was one of many on yesterday's bond list. Dukes was charged with 2 counts of simple battery and 1 count of obstructing an officer. According to the schedule of bond charges, those offenses would total $800. So that's what jail officials charged him. All he actually had to pay was 10% of that to a bondsman. So, as Ernie Bjorkman reported, for $80, he was back on the streets. But municipal court judges, not jail officials, are the ones who make up that bond schedule, and those charges vary tremendously. Now, keep in mind, you only pay a small percentage of the bond. For inciting a riot, the bond schedule says $10,000. For incest, the court says $5,000 should be charged. It's $1,000 for assault with a deadly weapon, $500 for terroristic threats, $300 for simple battery, and $100 for using profane language or for beating your wife. For property crimes, District Attorney Louis Slaton says, the system is fairly reasonable, but it doesn't always hold up.
Where the problem is in violent type crimes. Quite often the charge that you make is much more serious than the actual charge you're putting on the person at the time. For example, a simple assault might be a real big simple assault, like a simple assault on a police officer, which would be larger in my estimation and larger in the estimation of the law than 2 people assaulting each other. Therefore, someone should be in touch with the judges at a time like that to acquaint the judges of the facts and let the judges set a more realistic bond.
Reality, though, usually prevents that from happening. But Deputy Solicitor H. Pierre says the system does work.
And what the judges have done is to look at particular offenses and to make some visceral determination as to how offended the general public is by this particular conduct. That coupled again with, based on the nature of the offense, how likely is it for this person to come back to court? And with all of those factors in mind, then a bond schedule has been devised.
But we have learned municipal court judges are now in the midst of revamping the bond schedule, setting bonds higher in many offenses. That new bond listing could be in effect as early as next week. Hank Phillippi, Action News.